Okay, so what I hear you saying is, maybe having the support from your boyfriend being around and you being able to spend more time with your family, you would be able to cut back on drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess going back to, like you said, priorities and stuff, I guess my priorities then was my family, not so much work, not so much me time, just family time. So, I mean, I guess after my husband left, I felt like, after 10 years of being married, I was so focused on family and he still left that I figured, well, maybe it was time to focus on me, but, maybe I've just taken it too far. Maybe a little too much me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, if I put myself in their positions, I can see what they're saying, and I can see how, I mean, I'm having a great time, but of course everyone being upset, it's causing me so many issues that, and, like you said, back then, I mean, I didn't have to, I was happy, and I wasn't drinking it, and like I said, I wasn't even thinking about it, I wasn't missing it or anything, so I guess if I just try to refocus my priorities, I guess I can see what everybody's saying.
Okay. Is that something you would want to do?
I mean, I don't think I want to cut it out completely because, I feel like, I'm entitled to have some free time, some me time, but I can definitely see how maybe, when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's every weekend, and yeah, 2-3 times during the week, yeah, it's probably, if I say there are more days that I drink than not, then it's probably a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now you're starting to think it is a problem.
Yeah, I can definitely see it as a problem. I was, drinking too much, and I guess if I have to think about it, I mean, if I had my own daughter, one day comes home and says she doesn't remember what she did, she was that drunk, I'm gonna definitely be like, hey, that's an issue. You gotta be able to remember what you did. So yeah, I see it as a problem now.
Okay. And I mean, you having had success to stop drinking for a year, I mean, it's doable for you. It's not something that you would be asking too much of yourself.
No, and I mean then, and I was happy, and I didn't have to drink at all. And like I said, I'm not gonna quit completely. Maybe cut it down to like just on the weekends, or make sure I learn what my limit is, and not go to the point where I'm not even gonna remember what I did the following night. But yeah, I mean, I guess still having to be able to do my girl time and still make sure my family feels like they're my priority. Then yeah, I totally understand.
Okay. Well, I think we've made a lot of progress today because, I mean, you went from not really thinking you had a drinking problem, but you showed up here with, because of the concern of your friends and your boyfriend. And so now you're saying that you kind of can see where the problem is. And like I said, you have had success in the past. So now that's something that you are willing to give another try.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely gonna cut back. I think having sounds funny, but I guess seeing it in the refrigerator every time I open, that's not gonna help. So I guess if I leave it to where I just do it on the weekends outside of the home, that in itself is gonna make things better. So I see it as a treat and not almost like it's an everyday type of thing. So yeah, definitely. I think I just gotta refigure out what my priorities are, and obviously I don't want to be making anyone upset, and if everyone around me is telling me I have an issue and I'm the only one not seeing it, then usually it's not everyone is wrong, it's usually I'm wrong. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I you're right. I mean, I showed up here thinking this is dumb, I have to do something that I don't even see a problem, but I guess seeing it, when after I filled out your questionnaire and after you're asking me and after I'm thinking about it and then going back to when I didn't drink, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely, there's a little bit of an excess going on now, for sure.
And you say, you know, you don't want to cut back cut drinking completely, but, you know, is there something that, a goal maybe that you can put for yourself and say, you know, I mean, you said, you know, not buying it, not having it in your refrigerator where you can just have access immediately, but is there maybe some goal that we can work on together? That way, you know, if you would like to come back, I don't know, in a couple of weeks and see where you stand.
I think my biggest goal right now is just gonna be, you know, not having it at home, cutting it out on the weekend completely, and then, you know, trying to make sure when I go out, like I still want to drink, you know, but not to the point where like I can't remember anything. So I think my goal is gonna be when I do go out, you know, it's gonna be to the point where I can be able to stop myself before I feel like I've gone too far. So that's gonna be my goal. It's just learning to trust myself to say, okay, I've had enough. I'm having to the point where I'm having fun, but not to the point where I'm being annoying to everybody else. So I think I gotta just find that balance. That's gonna be my goal, is just finding that balance again. I know I can find it. It's just a matter of me, you know, just listening to my inner self and knowing when it's too far. And then just reminding myself, I guess, you know, I'm out here to have a good time and, you know, just to relax, but my priority is to my family and my job, and I gotta make sure that as long as they're not being affected, then I'm doing okay.
Okay. Well, just kind of, once again, just to summarize everything, you know, that we've talked about today, you know, you came in here not thinking you had a problem. I think you're leaving here thinking that, you know, you can see the problem now, and you have a goal in mind of what you want to do, and it's a pretty doable goal, I think, for you, especially since you've had success with it in the past. So I think we've made progress here, and like I said, if you want to come, you know, set up an appointment, maybe we can meet in a couple of weeks and see how you're doing then.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. I'll let my friends know that, you know what, you know, my behavior wasn't acceptable, and you know, I hope they still keep inviting me to go out, but definitely that I've, you know, put myself in their shoes and I understand where they're coming from, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. Thank you.